The tension when Sharon and Phyllis return and secrets are revealed. It all started when Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers returned from a terrible experience that few could imagine. The days of being imprisoned in a dark space, without freedom and without help from anyone, both of them had to endure not only physical but also psychological challenges. The struggles to survive, the doubts and fears that bound them together in the desperate hours. But after all, they saved each other's lives, and that created an unforgettable relationship. However, after escaping the nightmare, Sharon and Phyllis realized that, although those painful memories will follow them for the rest of their lives, the things they experienced have caused significant changes in their relationship. However, that change is not easy. Phyllis and Sharon had had too many years of hostility, too many silent and public battles. But now, when faced with life and death, they were forced to reconsider everything. One evening, when Sharon and Phyllis were sitting across from each other in a cafe in Genoa City, the atmosphere was tense and unfamiliar. Sharon, looking tired but strong, was the first to speak. "Phyllis, we've been through a nightmare. But I can't forget everything that happened before. We can't just erase the past." Phyllis nodded, her face tense. "I know. But at least I understand you better now. And I know you do too. We can't keep fighting. Especially when the person behind this kidnapping is still at large." As soon as Phyllis finished speaking, Sharon fell silent, seemingly trying to think about what Phyllis had just said. Both know that what they have just experienced is only part of the story. In fact, there are still mysteries that have not been solved, and Victor Newman, the man who always holds all the important information in his hands, is the only one who can reveal who planned this kidnapping. Victor and the secrets revealed. As soon as Sharon and Phyllis sit down together, a meeting with Victor is scheduled. Victor is the one who decides to reveal some important information to both women, to help them find the real enemy behind the incident. During a tense meeting at the Newman mansion, Victor announces, "Phyllis, Sharon, you have survived a nightmare. But you need to understand that the person behind the kidnapping is not someone you can easily suspect. I have investigated and learned that everything is related to a larger conspiracy that you do not know about." Phyllis and Sharon listened, their eyes shining with curiosity and concern. They couldn't believe that, after all they had been through, the person behind the kidnapping was still a mystery. And now, the new clues only made them more confused. Sharon and Phyllis's discussion. After their meeting with Victor, Sharon and Phyllis decided to continue their conversation more honestly, a discussion that they both knew would not be easy. They faced each other in silence for a few minutes, feeling the strange atmosphere between them. Finally, Sharon spoke up, "Phyllis, despite the changes, I still can't deny that we have changed after all. But I still can't forget what you did to me before." Phyllis sighed, but her eyes no longer contained the anger or contempt they had before. "I know. But we've both changed. We can't go on like this forever. That hostility only makes things worse. I'd rather admit that we've learned to live together than remain enemies." Sharon nodded, looking at Phyllis with a serious look. "But that doesn't mean we'll become best friends. I don't think that's possible. However, at least now, we can admit that we're no longer enemies." Their conversation ended in silence, but it was a meaningful silence. Sharon and Phyllis couldn't forget the past, but they also couldn't continue to live in endless hatred. Even though they weren't best friends, at least they had begun to understand and respect each other. Sharon and Phyllis's future. Neither of them knew what their future would hold. Sharon and Phyllis's relationship will never be the same again, but at least they can start a new chapter. The days of living in hostility will not be easily erased, but in each of them, there is a new realization that no one deserves to live with resentment forever. Ultimately, Sharon and Phyllis will face new challenges, not only the secrets behind the kidnapping, but also the challenges of their relationship. They will have to learn more about each other, instead of just looking at the past to determine their future path. Sharon and Phyllis's relationship may never be friendship, but it certainly won't be hatred. Either way, they've been through a nightmare together, and it's made them reevaluate everything from painful memories to new opportunities in the future. The complicated relationship between the Newman family, especially between Victor Newman and his children, continues to take a dramatic turn on the young and the restless. One of the major threats Victor faces is Aristotle Dumas, a longtime rival who Victor has always viewed as a potential danger. This becomes clear when Victor decides to reveal some important information to Lily Winters, in order to help her better understand the threat Aristotle could pose to their family. Victor reveals a secret to Lily. Ever since Aristotle Dumas stepped foot in Genoa City, everyone in the Newman family sensed that his presence was no coincidence. Although no one has been able to determine Aristotle's true intentions, Victor, who has always had a feeling that something is amiss, decides to share important information he has gathered from Michael Baldwin, the Newman family's lawyer. Michael has conducted a thorough investigation of Aristotle Dumas and, according to the information he has obtained, Aristotle is not really interested in taking over Winters' enterprises, as many people think. On the contrary, his goals may be related to a larger conspiracy that could threaten not only the Winters family but also the Newman family. Victor has always had a history of rivalry with Aristotle, and he is not afraid of the possibility that this person could cause unforeseen dangers. During his meeting with Lily, Victor warns her of the potential dangers. "Lily," Victor began, "we all know that Aristotle is not someone to be trifled with. Michael has confirmed my concerns about him. He is not as interested in Winters' enterprises as we thought, but there may be something bigger going on. I need you to be cautious." Lily, despite being an independent and capable person, could not deny that Aristotle's presence had made her rethink what was going on around her. Victor's warning was not without reason, and she knew that if she was not careful, she could become part of the dangerous game Aristotle was planning. Victor uses Lily and Devon. However, with his concern about Aristotle's threat, Victor not only wanted to warn Lily, but also sought to use her and Devon in this confrontation. Gaining Lily and Devon's cooperation was essential for Victor to approach Aristotle and expose his schemes. In the following conversations, Victor began to probe whether he could exploit Lily and Devon's relationship to get them into the game he was playing with Aristotle. Victor knew that getting close to Aristotle would not be easy, as the man was very intelligent and kept his intentions secret. However, with the help of Lily and Devon, Victor was able to find a way to lure Aristotle out of his hiding place. Using family connections and corporate rivalries, Victor hoped to draw Aristotle into a direct confrontation. This, Victor believed, would not only protect his family, but also allow him to exploit Aristotle's suspicions to manipulate their relationships. But Lily and Devon were not easy to manipulate. They understood Victor's calculations, and even if they wanted to cooperate, they knew that they had to be extremely careful with every step. Lily did not hesitate to express her concerns to Victor, as she said, "I understand that you want us to help, but I do not want to be dragged into your schemes and become a pawn in this game." Victor looked at her, his eyes sharp as a bird of prey, and calmly replied, "Lily, I am not asking you to do anything other than protect your family. You have the right to choose, but if you do not act, you may regret it." Although Victor tries to draw Lily into the game, Devon reacts with concern. As someone who always wants to do things fairly and stay out of family politics, Devon does not like being dragged into the confrontation between Victor and Aristotle. He has been through enough challenges in his life and career to know that these fights can only lead to bad consequences. Devon is increasingly worried about getting involved in the power struggles between the men in the family. He knows that confronting Aristotle could lead to unforeseen risks. Moreover, he begins to suspect that there is an ulterior motive from Victor that he cannot yet discern. In his conversations with Lily, Devon cannot hide his concern. "Lily, I don't want us to get involved in this. We can't keep getting dragged into these power games of Victor." However, when he discovers some information regarding the relationship between Aristotle and Damian King, Devon's suspicions begin to grow. Damian, a mysterious man with unclear motives, may be trying to build a special relationship with Nate Hastings. This makes Devon feel worried about what the future may hold. If Damian is really trying to manipulate Nate, it will not only affect Nate but also the entire Winters family. Devon fears that Aristotle and Damian's every move could lead to damaged relationships and exposed secrets. He worries that continuing to get involved in this confrontation could only make things worse. Devon's predictions and reactions. The more Devon thinks about it, the more he feels that something is wrong. He begins to wonder if there is a plan that Victor has not revealed to him. Getting involved in the war between Victor and Aristotle could be damaging not only to the Winters family but also to his career. Devon is uncertain about what lies ahead, but he knows that the only thing he can do is remain vigilant and find a way to protect his family from any danger. However, Devon can't always avoid these confrontations. He begins to notice that his relationship with Lily is being affected by these conflicts. Concerns about Aristotle and Victor could tear the Winters family apart, and if he's not careful, he and Lily may never get back on track. In a world of intrigue and rivalry, dark secrets always lurk beneath the surface, and the relationships between the characters on The Young and the Restless continue to develop in unexpected ways. Especially the confrontation between Victor Newman and Aristotle Dumas, a potential rival that Victor always feels is dangerous. In that context, Victor constantly tries to approach and manipulate the people around him, especially Lily Winters and Devon Hamilton, to gain an advantage over Aristotle. Victor's scheme, using Lily and Devon. Since Aristotle Dumas appeared in Genoa City, the Newman family has begun to realize the potential danger he brings. However, no one can predict Aristotle's true purpose, making Victor feel worried and need to find a way to approach him before it is too late. Although Victor cannot completely determine why Aristotle appeared and what he is looking for, one thing is clear. Aristotle is not an easy person to predict. Victor knows that if he does not act quickly, Aristotle can pose a threat not only to the Newman family but also to Lily's Winter enterprises. However, approaching Aristotle was not easy. With his hidden abilities and intelligence, Aristotle was difficult to lure out. Therefore, Victor decided to use the people he could control, Lily and Devon. Although they did not want to participate in Victor's schemes, these two were still important pawns in his plan. Victor hoped that with the help of Lily and Devon, he could create an opportunity to lure Aristotle out of his hiding place. He constantly probed for weaknesses in their relationship, and did not hesitate to make promises about the great benefits their family could receive if they cooperated. However, Victor did not forget to be careful, because he knew that Lily and Devon were not people who could be easily manipulated. They had witnessed too many tricks and intrigues over the years, and they certainly would not let themselves be drawn into a power play. Despite being a wise and strong leader, Lily Winters could not help but be suspicious when Victor approached her. She understood that the relationship between the Newman family and Aristotle could not be simply a struggle for power, but also involved other purposes that Victor was hiding. Lily always kept her cool in every situation, but when Victor began to make suggestions about how she could help him in this confrontation, she could not help but feel uneasy. "Victor," Lily began, her serious eyes looking straight at him, "I cannot easily agree to participate in a plan that I do not fully understand. You want me to help you lure Aristotle out of hiding, but I cannot just do as you say. I have my own interests and concerns, and I do not want to become a pawn in your power game." Victor smiled, but his sharp eyes showed no tenderness. "Lily, I know you are someone who understands the value of your family. What I propose is not only for my own benefit, but also for the survival of your family. Aristotle could be a great threat, and if we don't act now, we might lose everything." Although Victor's words seemed reasonable, Lily still couldn't easily put aside her doubts. She understood that this confrontation was not just a matter between the Newman family and Aristotle, but also involved secrets that she didn't know about. And she wasn't sure that she could completely trust Victor in this situation. Devon, worrying predictions while Lily was struggling with her decision. Devon Hamilton, who was always cautious and not easily drawn into power plays, began to realize that the situation was not simple. He felt worried when he heard worrying information from Michael Baldwin, the Newman family's lawyer. Michael investigates Aristotle and concludes that the man is not as interested in Winter's enterprises as everyone thinks. Instead, Michael's findings indicate that Aristotle may have other motives, a conspiracy that he does not want to reveal too soon. Devon begins to worry that things may be getting out of hand. Getting involved in the confrontation between Victor and Aristotle could have unforeseen consequences, and he does not want to be a part of it. "Lily," Devon says, as they discuss the situation, "I don't want us to get caught up in this. Being a tool in the war between Victor and Aristotle could have unintended consequences. We can't keep letting ourselves be used. However, Devon can't stop thinking about the new relationship Aristotle is forming with Nate Hastings, a relationship that he feels is shady. The question of Aristotle's true motives becomes even clearer when he realizes that Damian King, with whom Nate has recently formed a close relationship, may be involved in the hidden schemes Aristotle is pursuing. These relationships may create a series of changes not only for the Winters family but also for the entire Newman family. Secrets unveiled and a tense relationship at the same time. Secrets about Aristotle's past and his connection to Damian begin to be revealed. Their relationship is not simply a business partnership, but may contain deeper motives that even Victor cannot fully understand. This makes Victor act quickly, because he knows that if he does not control the situation, he may lose everything. Meanwhile, Lily and Devon continue to face a difficult choice. They could help Victor in this confrontation, but is that the right choice? Not only do they risk being drawn into a power struggle, but they also have to contend with their own personal motivations and complicated relationships.